Hello everyone, welcome back to Commerce Concepts. I am Professor Satyajit Singh Gohil. Today we are going to discuss one of the topics of cost and management accounting, which is overhead cost. So for not making this video too long, we'll directly jump onto the topic, right? So let's first understand what are overheads and what is the overhead cost for a company. So if you see the manufacturing companies, whatever cost they incur behind the production, their total cost can be classified into two different ways. One is the direct cost and another one is the indirect cost. The difference between both of them is already discussed in previous videos. So if you guys want to understand the difference between them, you guys can go to that particular video and find out the difference, right? Direct cost, the cost which is directly related to the production or manufacturing, or we can say which is related to the goods, are all direct costs for the company. There can be three types of direct cost. One is direct material, direct labor and the direct expenses. And we know that the total of these three types of direct cost gives us the prime cost, which is the very first cost that we generally calculate when we prepare cost sheet of a company, right? On the other hand, we have certain indirect expenses as well. Again, like direct cost, there are three types of indirect cost for a company: indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses. So we know that indirect expenses or indirect cost is something which is not incurred on the production, but they are incurred so that the production can be continued and that it does not stop in between, right? Again, the sum of indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses gives us the overhead cost, which is the topic which we are going to cover today. Or we can also call it non-productive cost. Why non-productive cost? Because they are not related to the production, right? So generally this is the classification of the total cost. Now what we are going to understand is we'll focus more upon this part of the total cost, that is the overhead cost. Let's understand the overheads and the detailed classification of the various overheads expenses which are incurred by the company for the production. So let us understand the detailed classification of the overheads or the indirect expenses. So if you look at the classification, then the overheads can mainly be classified into three different categories. One is by function, second is by elements and the third is by behavior. Let's come on to the classification based on functions. So if you see, there are various functions carried out in any company. Like you can say production is one of the function, office and administration is another function, then selling and distribution is also one of the functions, right? So for carrying out these functions, certain expenses have to be incurred every day, and depending on the type of the function, these expenses are classified into following overheads. If you look at the production overhead, now we know that this is related to the production, something which is related to the factory, right? So what examples we can take for production overhead? So we can say that whatever electricity charges you pay for the factory. Now we know that factory is generally used for production purpose, right? So anything which is related to factory rent, factory electricity charges, the machineries that we keep into the factory. Machineries are generally used for what? They are used for production. So any kind of repair and maintenance provided on the machineries, then any kind of depreciation provided on plant and machinery, depreciation on factory building, insurance of the machineries that are kept into the factory. So these are certain examples of the production overheads. Then there is another overhead into the function, which is office and administration overhead. Right from the name we can understand that there will be certain expenses which will be related to purely office and administration here. If you see, general management charges, general management salaries is one of the example. Then salary of office staff can be one of the example. Whatever rent you pay for the office, whatever electricity charges, power and lighting you pay for the office, postage and telegram, stationery expenses. So these are all office and administration overheads, simply the expenses which are required to run an office or administrative work. So these are office and administrative overheads. Then the third one we have is the selling and distribution overheads, the expenses which are purely incurred to sell your products, to distribute your products, right? So what could be the examples here? We can take advertising. Advertising can be one of the example. If you have certain sales people in your team, then you may have to provide traveling expenses to those sales personnel, or whatever salary you provide to sales personnel can also be an example of selling overheads. If you look at the distribution overheads, carriage outward can be one of the example. Then whatever expenses you make behind warehouse, That can also be one of the example of distribution overheads. So this is the detailed classification based on the functions. Then we have is the classification based on the elements. We already know what are the elements of cost. There are three main elements of cost: material, labor, and and the expenses, we can say. So we have it: indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. I hope I don't need to explain them in detail. Indirect material is generally the secondary material, whatever consumable stores, whatever lubricants you use, or tools and equipments that you use for producing a particular product are known as the indirect material. The material which does not become a part of your finished product but is used so that your product can be manufactured. Then there is indirect labor. Any labor who is not actively participating into production, like for example, we can take an example of a factory watchman. So he is, whatever wages you provide to that particular labor falls into the category of indirect labor. Then you may have delivery van driver, that can be also an example. Then there are certain indirect expenses, whatever other indirect expenses that we incur here. So this is the classification based on the elements. The third classification we have is by behavior. By behavior we have three different overheads: fixed overheads, variable overheads, and semi-variable overheads. There will be certain overheads which will be fixed in nature, like for example the rent. Rent is one of the fixed overhead. No matter how much production you are carrying out into your factory, even if you are increasing your production or you are decreasing your production or keeping it stable, the rent will never increase, right, until and unless it is increased intentionally. Then there is variable overheads. Certain overheads will keep on changing proportionately to the change in production. Like for example, you can have electricity bill. Electricity bill is one of the example of variable overheads. The more production you will increase, the machineries will consume more electricity, and that will generate more electricity bill for the factory. And there is semi-variable overhead. Certain examples we can take here for semi-variable overheads are depreciation can be one of the example which you can take as semi-variable overhead. Semi-variable simply means that up to a certain point they remain fixed, and after that it keeps on increasing or decreasing according to the change in output or production, we can say. So this is the detailed classification of overheads. Let's have a look at it again. The three categories: by function, by elements, and by behavior. By function we have production overheads, office and admin overheads, selling and distribution overheads. By elements, indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. And by behavior we have fixed overheads, variable overheads, and semi-variable overheads. So I hope we are clear with the classification of overheads. Why we are studying it is because the first step that we use for calculating the numerical questions of overhead is to collect the various overheads and classify them into these categories. So that is the reason it is important for us to understand the detailed classification of overheads. We'll move on to the another topic now. We'll understand what is allocation and apportionment, which is the most important part of this particular chapter. So after the classification of the overheads, let us just understand two of the most important terms, and this is what we are going to do while solving the numerical questions of overheads: allocation and apportionment. See, there will be certain overheads which will be directly allocated to some of the departments, whereas there will be certain overheads which will be required to be apportioned or distributed between more than one department. So let us first understand them in detail, what is allocation and what is apportionment. So I am having it here: allocation, which simply says that it is assignment of whole item of a cost directly to a cost center. That simply means that the cost which is identifiable, that for which particular department and for what purpose the cost is incurred, that is what is allocation. Like I have taken an example. There is a factory, and in factory we have hired three different managers: manager 1, manager 2, and manager 3. Manager 1 is hired for production department, manager 2 is for operations department, and manager 3 is for supply chain department. And whatever salary we provide them is also mentioned here. Like manager 1 is getting salary of rupees 50,000 to look after production department. Manager 2 will be getting 70,000 and manager 3 will be getting 80,000. It is clearly visible that this 50,000 rupees, which is whole item of a cost, can be directly assigned to a cost center. What is a cost center here? Production department is the cost center. I don't have to divide this 50,000 between any other department here. Why? Because this 50,000 rupees is given only for production department to manager 1 as a salary. For manager 2, if you look at it, 70,000. 70,000 is provided to manager 2 as a salary only to look after operation department. He is not devoting his time between any other department. So we can clearly see here that this particular cost can be assigned directly to a specific cost center, and it does not require to be apportioned or distributed between other departments. So this is the example of allocations. There will be certain expenses which can only be allocated and does not require to be apportioned, right? So it is done in this way. Whatever cost is given, directly put it into that particular department. No need to do anything else. On the other hand, we have apportionment. The distribution of overheads to more than one cost center on some equitable basis. Here, one particular cost will be divided between more than one departments, but using what? Will need certain basis for distribution. I have taken an example. There is a factory and you have hired only one manager, and this manager will have to look after three different departments: production department, operations department, and supply chain department. Here if you see an allocation, you have three different managers for three departments. Here you have only one manager and he is responsible to work for all three departments. Taking the example further, let's say if I am giving him salary rupees 1 lakh. Now this rupees 1 lakh does not only belong to production department or operation or supply chain. It belongs to all of them. Now how will I divide it? I will have to apportion it. That how much salary belongs to production department, how much salary is given to operations, and how much salary is given for supply chain department. So what I will need? I will need some equitable basis. Basis will be required, using which I can form a ratio, and based on ratio I can classify this. So let's say time devoted by the manager, I am taking it as a basis. Time devoted by the manager. So if I say time devoted by the manager is 30 for production department, 30 for operations department, and 40 for supply chain department. So 30 is to 30 is to 40. The total will become 100. 30 plus 30, 60. 60 plus 40, 100. So now I can classify this 1 lakh rupees. How I can classify? I can classify it as 1 lakh multiplied by 30 by 100. So it will become how much? 30,000. 1 lakh multiplied by 30 by 100. It will become 30,000 again. And 1 lakh multiplied by 40 by 100. So it will become 40,000. So what I did? I classified 1 lakh rupees between three different departments. I distributed it. I apportioned it. So that is the difference between allocation and apportionment. You will find out so many expenses in your question, but you will have to identify that which of the expenses needs to be allocated and which expenses are to be apportioned. So for that you must be aware of the concept of it. Have a look at it again, how allocation is done and how the apportionment is done. So I hope we are clear with allocation and apportionment. Now we'll move ahead with some another topic into the same chapter. Alright, so after allocation and apportionment, now let's see where this allocation and apportionment will be done. What type of questions you will find out in the overhead cost. So mainly the questions will be related to the overhead distribution. Now this distribution can be done in two different ways. One is the primary distribution and another one is the secondary distribution. But before that we'll have to understand two different departments. One is production department and another one is the service department. See, any manufacturing unit will have these two departments working with them. Production department, the one which is responsible for converting the raw material into finished goods using some material, some labor, some tools and equipments and machineries, right? On the other hand, we have service department. Service department provides services to the production department itself. It works as a helping hand to the production department. Like one of the example of the service department is the purchase department. So if the purchase department will purchase the raw material from the vendors, only then the production department can utilize that material for producing something. So these are the two different departments. One is production, another one is service department. Whatever overheads you will be given, you will be either allocating it or apportioning it to production department and service department only. But yes, you may find out in question that a company is having three production departments, A, B and C, and 2 service department X and Y. Now the allocation and apportionment will be done in 5 different departments, right? So let us understand the primary distribution and secondary distribution. The numerical questions which will be of primary distribution, what we do here, all the overheads are either allocated or apportioned to production department and service department, and the total of it will be taken as total primary distribution. So what will happen here, you will be given certain overheads and certain direct expenses as well. Now you are supposed to either allocate it or apportion it into the various production departments given. Like for example, you are given that the company is having 3 production departments A, B and C, and 2 service department X and Y. So now what you will do, you will allocate and apportion the various overheads into these 5 departments, and at last you will come up with the total of it. The total of it will be named as total primary distribution. That is the very simplest form of numerical questions that you will find. It will not be very difficult to solve these numerical questions. The only thing that you need to remember here is that you should be very well aware of what expenses will be allocated and what expenses will be apportioned, because we have already seen the difference. Allocation does not need any basis to distribute the expenses. It can directly be allocated to some of the department. Apportionment, you will need certain basis. You will have to come up with certain ratio and divide it into 5 different departments. So once you will be done with this, you will find out the total of it, and that will be termed as total primary distribution. Another type of questions you will find out is the secondary distribution. What we do here, we reapportion the total. We reapportion the total of service department when the total primary distribution is reapportioned, and that is secondary distribution will always happen for service department total. So whatever total primary distribution you have received for X and Y department, let's say, now they are asking that the total of X and Y should be reapportioned. That reapportionment can again be done in 2 ways. The reapportionment of service department overheads to only production department. That means whatever total of X department you have, apportion it in A, B and C. Whatever total you have for Y, apportion it in A, B and C. Then come up with the total of this. That will be total overheads. Fine. Another way is reapportionment of service department overhead to production department and other service department also. Now what they will ask? They will ask that you have to reapportion department X into A, B and C, which are the production departments, and other service department as well. So that will be Y. They can ask you for the total of Y department should be reapportioned in production department A, B and C and another service department, that is X. So that is how we can reapportion again. Reapportionment of service department overhead to production department A, B and C and other service department. X will be reapportioned in Y and Y will be reapportioned in X. Now this particular thing can be done using 3 different methods. One is simultaneous equation method, another one is repeated distribution method, and the third one is trial and error method. So let's just look at it again. Primary distribution, the normal kind of questions, numerical questions you will find out where only the overheads are to be allocated and apportioned to the departments given, production department and service department, and we have to come up with a total of it, known as total primary distribution. Secondary distribution, where the total of service department, the total primary distribution of service department is reapportioned again either into only production department or production department and other service department also. So if it is only production department, then X will be reapportioned in A, B and C, Y will be reapportioned in A, B and C, and total overheads will be found out. If it is reapportionment of service department to production department and other service department, then X will be reapportioned in A, B, C and Y. Y will be reapportioned in A, B, C and X. And this can be done in 3 ways: simultaneous equation method, repeated distribution method, trial and error method. So these are the kind of questions, numerical questions you will find out for this particular chapter. We'll practice some of the numerical questions of this chapter. So before starting the numerical questions, here are some of the important points to remember for overhead cost. The very first point is always start the numerical question with allocating the direct cost first. You will be given certain direct cost into the question, and they can be direct material, direct labor, and the direct expenses. So always start your questions with allocating them first, and always remember that this direct cost can only be allocated to service departments only. Why? Because for service department, all these costs are indirect in nature. As far as the chapter is overheads, we are only concerned with the indirect cost and not the direct cost. For production department, direct material, direct labor and direct expenses are direct cost. So we do not allocate anything in production department when we solve the numerical question. That you will come to know when we solve one question. But always remember that whatever direct cost you have, direct material, direct labor and direct expense, that needs to be allocated only to service department, because for service department they are indirect cost. Second point is find out the most suitable basis of apportionment for all indirect cost. Once done with all the direct cost, now come up to the overheads. Various overheads will be given to you in the question. Now for all the overheads, you have to find out one most suitable basis of apportionment. We already know that for apportionment we require some equitable basis. Using those bases, you will divide the overhead into different departments. So when you come up to the overheads, you will have to find out the most suitable basis of apportionment. Like one example, if I will give you rent, factory rent. Rent can be classified using area occupied or floor space. Whatever floor space or area that is occupied, that will be taken as a basis for apportioning the entire overheads spent as rent. And there is form a ratio for distribution of overheads. Once you come up with basis of apportionment, come up with a ratio for distribution of overheads. Distribute the overhead into production and service department as per the ratio. Now we know that apportionment will be done in all the departments, production as well as service department. If there are 5 departments, 3 production and 2 service, then apportionment will be done in 5 different departments. But for that distribution, you will have to form a ratio first, and based on those ratios, you have to divide the overheads into production and service department. Then after doing all this, once you are done with all the direct and indirect expenses, allocation and apportionment, find out the total primary distribution first. First you have to come up with total primary distribution. Then if you are asked to go for secondary distribution, you will have to add up the secondary distribution into the primary one. Remember, secondary distribution, the method, either simultaneous equation, repeated distribution or trial and error, whatever is asked in the question. You have to do the secondary distribution using that particular method. Adding up both of them, primary and secondary distribution, will give you the total overheads, and this is what we are supposed to calculate here in this particular chapter. So I hope these points will be helpful for you in solving any numerical questions. I'll see you in the next video with numerical questions on primary distribution as well as secondary distribution. Thank you.